weeks. I've got my little clock here. Get to about 20 minutes. I'll start a new video. So you won't notice, but it's the memory card splits. Any of my esteemed patrons need to know that I try to log in. I tried umpteen times to log in. It's never been easy, and it scrubbed all my patrons, such as they are, and no access to all my nearly 600 videos that I've posted over the years. So if anybody's listening, just I don't know what you can do other than complain to Patreon. I'm really disappointed. I've had no help whatsoever. I want my original channel reinstated, and all the details I had on there, the comments and everything. You know, I pledged to do 2 paintings a week for Patreon. I don't always keep up to it. It's a bit difficult sometimes. But I'm trying to balance YouTube as well. So I don't know what to do about that. Anyway, enough of that. I primed a piece of the studio paper, the Fabriano, with PVA glue, a good dampening PVA glue. So it's got some sort of surface to work on. I don't want to paint. If you go straight onto watercolour paper, which is very good support, it will be very difficult to get your paint to flow because it would dry into the paper. So that's why I've given it a coat of PVA glue. I've diluted it in this pot here, 502. That's a litre bottle. It's quite expensive now, but everything's going up, isn't it? Right, okay, so colours, we've got cadmium red, ultramarine, burnt sienna, cadmium yellow pale, and yellow ochre, plus black and white. So five colours, including 3 primers, and the white and the black. Well, mix a bit of black on the Payne's grey. This paper, it's a tear-off paper for oil and acrylic. It's very good for a palette, and especially overnight with acrylic, it dries, and then you can just get your palette knife underneath the what do you call it, the lumps, and just gently ease them off, and then you've got a flat palette with, well, no, it's got all the yesterday's painting on, but it does work well, and it's good for you to be able to see the mixing, and me to not get angry with Patreon. Plenty of helplines, but I've had nothing. I don't know how long I've been on Patreon, 5 years. Not done very well on it, I must admit. I don't know why, but one of those things. I did one yesterday. This was the one I did yesterday. That one, that's on YouTube, and so I'll put it out there just as I'm not going to copy that one. I'm going to just go in with me black and blue, and just see what we come up with that. See that's not soaking in, so that's good. That'll just air dry. We'll put in a bit of that, bit of that, and we'll just finish that. We'll just get that nice and dark. Get a bit of blue in. And that'll be a surface to go over. I'll let that dry a bit. I'm going to just see if I can put some loose stuff in it. There's a bit of a burnt sienna. This is an opaque one. With a bit of red, a bit of yellow, a bit of ochre, and Now with these colours I can make any colour really. It's got a bit of a horizon on there. It looks a bit of a mess at the moment. You can dry it. I tried tissue yesterday, but the tissue I've got, it's a fucking great roll, but it was taking look, it's drying. We had a good weekend, folks. We had a beautiful weekend. Cooked outside twice, and we had a family do yesterday, and good fun was had by all. Right, let's go a little bit of that burnt sienna. Just laying on, I don't know what that's doing there. Laying on some coats and just build up your layers. This is much more difficult with oils. A bit of red in there. There's some water, just to dilute it, isn't it? So it flows. I've got some flow gel, like the Vetch gel I used, somebody put me onto, which is very good. But I do quite like painting without it. Right, get different colours in here. I don't really like blending with the tissue. Let's come down here a bit. You see the paper's got a bit of a surface. The cartridge paper that I've been working on, building up a number of, well, I want to fill the book up so that I can work from it, and maybe I can give it to the children if they ever want it. They've always got to be aware of contrasts, light against dark. I like the light foreground, so let's persevere with that. Just go a bit of white with that. Just trying to make something that is attractive rather than that represents anything. It represents what you want it to represent. Well, I get a bit of blue in that. I usually paint this large with, so far with the acrylics. Just got a bit of green. You can just keep going over it until something happens where you're pleased, or not, as the case may be, then just paint over it. I probably don't need all these colours, but I just want to show you how I do these things. But this is going to be essentially a sky picture over some land, and a bit of this and a bit of that. There's lots of rain. No. It's quite a nice day. just getting some paint on here, then I can go over. A bit of cloth. I got in a mess before it even started, setting all this up. I've got a table, a makeshift table that I've got a couple of pins banged in, little pins, veneer pins, and a bootlace going, tying them together around the back of the back of the box, or the lid of the box easel. But mucking about with it down here, I was getting it everywhere. But acrylic, once it dries, you've had it. If it's on your clothes or your brushes, you've got to get at it straight away. Unlike oils, it will stay open much longer. Right, let's bit of that. A bit of ochre in it. Got some nice colours in there. Good off. Plenty of white in there. I think it's gone too dark, those colours. Now just going over those, what could best described as trees. Right, let that dry. Let's line this up a bit. The weather forecast not too good for later, so I probably won't be cooking outside today. A bit of red with that, so darker colour. Oh, whiskey thunder. It's not pure white, there's a little bit of red and ochre mixed in with this. So I'm not happy with it yet. Right, there's a bit more in that sky, but we'll let that dry off a bit. I'm going to put my blacks back as well. Let's just... Oh, yeah. Low bursts. Now, I'm getting annoyed by that. But I'll show you what I mean. Look. There you go, look, it just peels off. Okay, just throw that in the bin. Clean the knife. And carry on. That's what I'm using. Yes. Well, I'm going to bring that lower down, don't like it. Oh, that red is, the cad red is very, very strong. I keep saying that every painting, but it is. Just the colours. It's like a road going around, isn't it? That's get more lights. The blending. Plenty of white. Use loads of white. What do you do with oils? Because it mixes all the colours, doesn't it? Oh, I'll get a bit of that red, a bit of that black. Get that bit even more or different, get these shapes different, don't repeat too much. I know it's very easy to do. Oh, my ride might be in jeopardy tomorrow on the Wander. That's a bit better. Now we're building up something now. want to reduce the size of that, so let's use, this is the grey period, blue, red, bit of black. Get that darker, saying to me. Another 5 minutes, I'm going to just pause and carry on. You never know. Right, let's get some nice greeny sort of colour in here. Pretty obvious they're trees, isn't it? Right, okay, that seems to be not too bad. Clean the brush. I'm going to make a break in there. Right, just opening that up so I get some light coming through there. That's what it's suggesting to me. But, I'll let that go for a minute. Let's go back to black. the spikes and the hairs of the brush, they all help to create an impression. Right, I quite like that, so let's just put a bit more yellow in, methinks. Touch of red. Oops. Sort of like rough ground, isn't it? But it's what you want it to be, really. That's all I can say about it. Oh, let's get that nice light back in here. So if I can just take some of that up into those trees. My paintings are all about texture, not detail, texture. It's easy to do when you're using worn out brushes. Like, for example, this brush here. Oh, I'll better stop and start. This brush here, that'd be no good for texturing. It's a good wash brush, well, for acrylic and oil anyway. This brush, the hairs are too long. It's an old Chinese brush, pure bristle, but good stuff. They do good things, but I think even the Chinese bristles have gone up in price over a long time. Got a good brush here. Look, that's really worn out. Look, it's all uneven, but that's what I like. Right, now one bit of white, I've changed the brush, I won't go into, but because of different colours in this, you know. It's almost covered up that dodgy bit. Bit of sienna, not that much. For the yellow. Just give it a bit of texture on the sky. Not going for accuracy. Burnt sienna is a lovely colour with whites for doing all this. That's just a lovely brush. No good for fine painting, is it? But I'm quite happy with that. It's coming on. bit wet. Got some water in the ferrule, so I'm trying to shake it out. Make a nice sort of marks, creating the illusion. You can just about see where I've gone down into this sort of field. Oh, let's go back and put another dollop in there just to finish it off. I'm going to just change that there now. Just let that dry for a little bit. Now we've got a nice coat of paint now under the surface. I will varnish this on the top, but I'm not ready yet. It's got to be dried. Just that last little bit to thicken up a bit in there. Look, too much water. Sopping wet rag now. So I'll get another one. Just a little bit more. I don't like the shape of that. I'm going to change that, but it's a bit wet, so we'll put in some light, lovely light, yellowy red. Okay, now nothing stop us putting in a bit of red. Right, okay. I'll just do that last little bit there. Right, okay, now I like trees, but I begin to like the shapes of trees rather than individual branches. I'll just clean this brush here and then I'm going to take the tape off anyway while that's drying. Here we go, got to be very careful with it. Let's pull the paper off, or the surface off. I've got to dive off and take my wife's blood test today, so I think I'm running a little bit late. So, hence the rushing. Right, there we are, folks. One for a Monday morning. Let's put that on. Oh, it's a bit small, isn't it? Try this one. Well, there we are. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.